Welcome to Arkham. I'm your host, Ryan, and thank you for tuning in today. So today we are going to be covering the release of the 90-page manifesto by Audrey Hale, who was the Nashville shooter. For those of you who may not remember, Audrey Hale was known for just a little over a year ago, I believe, shooting up a Christian school, Covenant Christian school in Nashville, Tennessee. So we're going to talk about that and a little bit about the manifesto and what it reveals about the shooter. We will also discuss another tragic shooting. God, this just happens just too much. In a high school in Georgia, in Appalachia, where a 14-year-old is now being charged after killing two students, two teachers. So that's pretty upsetting, to say the least. We'll also cover this weird thing that happens with Amazon Alexa when you ask questions regarding the election. It feels an awful lot like election interference. And then one of the final stories we will cover is a California couple who baited criminals into their lawn to steal their bike and then beat them with bats. So I'm pretty excited about that story. That first couple, heavy, but it ends pretty light. So, all right, let's get into this. All right, so a couple days ago, I saw this news break first by Steven Crowder that the Tennessee Star has released all 90 pages of the Nashville Manifesto. And here are some quotes from the actual manifesto, and it's pretty unsettling. If God won't give me a boy body in heaven, then Jesus is a F-A-G-G-O-T. If I can't be happy, I am meant to die. No brown girls, no love. Brown love is the most beautiful kind of love. So just by these quotes alone, you can get an idea of what was influencing this woman and what led her to do what she did. You can tell that she is somebody that was deeply, deeply mentally unwell and deeply unhappy with her body. And I assume that her trans ideology played a role in this. We can also see too that she kind of has this fixation on brown girls and identifying that brown love is the most beautiful kind of love. So the Daily Wire has a good write-up on it, so we'll read from there. So Covenant shooter's entire diary published, revealing obsession with white privilege and transgenderism. Big shocker. The trans-identified shooter is obsessed with transgenderism, and this does seem to be some of what drove them to do what they did. So the Tennessee Star on Tuesday published the nearly 100-page journal of the 28-year-old woman who killed 3 adults and 3 children at Covenant Christian School in Nashville, Tennessee. The journalist offered a glimpse into the minds of a self-proclaimed autistic person prone to depression and obsession. The shooter's 2 most animating obsessions were left-wing ideas about transgenderism, including the idea that children will kill themselves if they cannot get gender surgery and white privilege. Yes, this is one of the more nefarious lies that gender ideologues peddle, is that if you don't go along with this insanity, that they will end up taking their own lives. And this is also how they manipulate and coerce parents into going along with this, and not just the individual suffering from the dysphoria, but also the therapists and medical professionals that they're going to get help. The 2 themes converge in an overall format of the journal, which often takes the form of diary entries addressed to a brown girl with whom the shooter was in love. So the shooter was lesbian. The shooter reportedly played basketball with the girl in 8th grade and had not remained in contact but created a race-based idea of the girl in her mind. The diary entries detailed how the shooter's autistic brain struggled with different ideas like white privilege, white nothingness. And that's honestly pretty sad. And, you know, a lot of people have been speaking out against anti-white bigotry, anti-white racism, which is just racism. Because obviously, you know, if you convince people that they are bad and inherently bad on the basis of their skin color, well, that's going to be internalized and externalized in a not so good way. And this is a peak example of that. On February 7th, 2023, a month before the shooting, the shooter drew a diagram that said brain, white privilege, embarrassment of self. Jesus. That's awful. So nothing in the nearly 100-page journal appears to justify the FBI's claim that it was withholding. Yeah, this is a topic that this is one of the questions that everybody everybody has. Jason D, biggest fan here. Welcome, bro. So this is one of the biggest questions that we all had. Why aren't you releasing the manifesto? Why can't we see this? Why is it under lock and key? Why has it taken well over a year for us to get the details of what actually happened? Why? You know, this question has been plaguing people that have been curious about the contents of the manifesto. Well, now we know why. We know they concealed it because this paints a not so pleasant picture of gender ideology and diversity, equity, inclusion, and some of this race-based nonsense. Yeah, so that's why. This is why it's been under lock and key. Nashville City Council member Courtney Johnson told the New York Post that the FBI said the manifesto couldn't be released because it was a blueprint on total destruction, and it was so detailed at the level of what she had planned. The document in the wrong person's hands would automatically be dangerous. Well, it doesn't seem like that so far. I'm not reading anything here about the nefarious plans. A police inventory says that there were 2 journals on the shooter's desk, 1 under her desk and 7 under her bed. So it's possible that such information was in another journal, but this journal, which appears to be the most recent, does not include any detailed information about penetrating a school or carrying out a shooting. So the logical conclusion is that it's probably in another journal that we haven't seen yet, so I'm very curious to see what that journal actually reveals. But this one in itself is damning alone. Tennessee Star and Editor-Chief Michael Patrick Lee filed a lawsuit under the Tennessee Public Records Act seeking the release of the writings. Nashville Judge Alyssa Miles blocked the release of even a single page, saying the diaries were copyrighted. She also threatened Leahy with contempt of court. Leah, I don't even know, man, said he obtained the articles through the legal means outside the Public Records Act and published it because it was in the public interest to do so. Yeah, it was in the public interest to do so. People had a right to know what the contents of this journal were. People had the right to know the motives behind the death of their kids. People, the parents had the right to know. These documents and photos have helped us inform the public about the underlying reasons for the heinous attack and have helped drive public discussion of what should be done to prevent such acts of violence in the future. We have documented a massive failure on the mental health system as the root cause of Hale's reprehensible actions. Yeah, and it's very clear from these writings that this individual was not mentally well. So why wasn't anything done about it? The shooter wrote angrily about American politics, appearing to echo left-wing talking points. Land of the free means whatever effort is taking away human rights is not a human at all. So, this helped shape her view, and maybe she associated Christians because we oppose transgenderism as being some of the people that are seeking to take away her quote-unquote rights. I wish death upon myself because of the pure hatred of my female gender with no rights. Anyone's country is a crappy dictatorship. She made a chart using the critical race theory buzzwords, deconstruction, pairing it with reconstruction. I'm trying to see where the actual chart is. It's so hard to see. It's kind of a life. Yeah, it's just a little incoherent. So autistic people, especially with are especially susceptible to adopting ideas that they are born in the wrong body. Male brain, my autism. The shooter wrote, "Mom just says I'm young and young people make mistakes, but with me it's painfully more than that. With being autistic and waste time all the time." Man, this person clearly cannot write. The torture of being raised a girl and actually believed I just had to deal with it and try to be feminine, but that didn't last long after high school ended. No longer had fear of being called a dyke or faggot. It was only until my early 20s I finally found the answers that changing one's gender is possible, except it isn't. And see, this is where the mental health counselors fail this person. It's not possible. And somebody needed to sit down with her and tell her that, no, you cannot. And reaffirm reality instead of affirming delusions. But oh, effing no, not with my mother. What she believes, how she grew up conservative, and the LGBT, especially transgender in her era, was an enigma, nearly non-existent, she wrote. The shooter also echoed the claim that children will commit suicide if their parents deny them the opportunity to change their gender. Yep, again, this is what they use to strong-arm people into going along with it. And this is how parents are pressured to go along with it. How could they not even think of their own child suffering and that they hate their gender so bad they cut and want to kill themselves first? And their preferences of conservative religion, gay, makes them believe that their child they're given should stay that way. Well, yeah, I mean, because it's the truth, and religious beliefs aside, it's the truth, there's only male and female and that's it. And that shouldn't, anything outside of that should not be affirmed and should be treated like a mental illness. And clearly this person's not well because she wants to cut herself, end her own life. She's not okay. Minutes before the shooting, the perpetrator messaged the person typically referred to as Pap or Brown Girl. In the journal, the woman radio host Paige Patton told ABC News after the incident, "I'm planning to die today. This is not a joke. You'll probably hear about me on the news after I die." The message said Patton called the police, who said they would send someone to review the screenshot. Police did not arrive until after the school shooting occurred. Yeah, that's this is just damning, and we're getting it now. Liz Wheeler actually had a pretty good write-up. She said, the left tried to hide the Covenant school shooter's diary, and now the reason why is clear. Audrey Hill was a woman who identified as a man, aka transgender, and she was brainwashed with leftist gender ideology. She also bought into the leftist lie that if kids aren't trans, they will kill themselves. Not true. And two, by the way, once they transition, that doesn't change. They still struggle with that because that's something that there's something more going on there. Like them being confused about their gender is just a symptom of a deeper issue. She believed that the genocidal lie leftists use to frighten people into violence by telling minority groups that conservatives and Christians are trying to take away their human rights. Yeah, and we're not, because there is no, there shouldn't be a right to mutilate your body. Period. And if anything, Christians and conservatives are the only people trying to prevent young children from doing irreparable damage to their bodies. This isn't out of hate. This isn't out of animosity. This is out of genuine concern for these children who don't understand the magnitude of what they're doing to themselves, who don't understand the long-term implications of going through these surgeries and lobbing off your breast or removing your genitals. It's not something you can come back from. And we have a responsibility as a moral people to protect children, sometimes from themselves and from making bad choices. But that's not what you get with leftists. That's not what you get with these woke therapists. You have them affirming this, saying, no, that's exactly who you are, and feeding into it, and only further destabilizing their mental health. I mean, imagine being a teenager and going through hormonal changes alone. That's a challenge. And then you introduce, puberty blockers or cross-sex hormones, and that's just a recipe for disaster. You're just exasperating that issue, and instead of affirming reality, you're affirming falsehood, and then you have the world celebrating for you for it, and then demonizing the only people that are trying to tell you the truth. She also bought into critical race theory, writing about self-embarrassment because she's white. Yeah, it's just evil, man. She was a disturbed young woman, likely harmed by Big Pharma, autism, who fell prey to queer theory, trans, and was brainwashed with critical race theory. She hated herself and white people. She felt her only recourse was revolutionary violence, because that's what the left tells young people. Obviously, the left tried to stifle this. Every single external ideology that motivated this young woman to murder innocent children and their teacher was indoctrinated into her by Democrats and leftists. Yeah. Yep. That's it. And now we have a conclusion to why this hasn't been released. Now we know. We know the truth. And hopefully, now that we're aware of some of the involvement, we can work to try to stop this from happening to more kids before another shooting happens. Or before more people struggling with gender dysphoria take their own lives. So, yeah, that was eye-opening, and I'm glad it's finally out. I'm glad people can look at the documents and draw their own conclusions and see what was informing this woman's ideology and what led her to do what she did. Now, I wish there weren't any more school shootings, but tragically, there was another one, I believe just yesterday. 2 students, 2 teachers killed in shooting at Georgia High School. 14-year-old charged as an adult. 8 students and 1 teacher were injured at Appalachia High School in Barrow County. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation said. We'll play this video real quick, at least a little bit of it.
Georgia, after officials say a suspected shooter opened fire in Appalachia High School.
It's a 14-year-old student here at the high school. Again, he has been taken into custody. He will be charged with murder, and he will be tried as an adult.
This video capturing terrifying moments after gunfire rang out. Police say deputies and emergency medical personnel rushed to the high school at about 10:23 a.m. in response to an active shooting. The school put on lockdown.
It was just like a loud boom.
Authorities say the gunfire left 4 dead, 2 teachers and 2 students, and 9 injured.
Our school resource officer engaged him, and the shooter quickly realized that if he did not give up, that it would end with an OIS, or an officer-involved shooting. He gave up, got on the ground, and the deputy took him into custody.
Golf coach David Phoenix was shot twice and is alive, according to his daughter, who posted on Facebook that he's in.
Now that's interesting, all right? So resource officer showed up, armed resource officer showed up and got this individual to surrender. It seems like this is a situation where good guys with guns stopped a bad guy with a gun. And there are actually people who don't want to arm resource officers, which I think is crazy. I personally think we could mitigate school shootings by having armed officers in every public school across the nation, well-trained, heavily armed officers. I think that would do worlds of good to mitigate the threat of school shootings. I'm not going to say it would stop them overnight, but it would definitely help reduce the likelihood that they would happen and give these children some recourse so that they're not sitting ducks getting mowed down by these people. So I think that's a good idea. I don't know why we don't do it. And when you think about it, it just seems more absurd. We have currently armed guards at most of our government buildings. You know, our members of Congress have armed security. Our president has armed security. Man, I've seen armed security at social security offices and Department of Human Services. So if we can find armed security for these government buildings, then why can't we do it with our public schools, which are government buildings? They are government-funded buildings with government staff. So why can't we have armed security? Make it make sense to me. It just seems like a no-brainer. And that's what I think would be the best case scenario right now to keep our kids safe. Now, if you want your kid totally and completely safe from this, my recommendation: pull them out of school. Just pull them out of school entirely, and there's not a chance they will be subjected to this type of violence. And they would be also protected from some of the same ideology that led Audrey Hale to do what she did. All right, let's finish this.
Stable condition.
My heart hurts for these kids. My heart hurts for our community. But I want to make it very clear that hate will not prevail in this county. Love will prevail over what happened today.
Students returned back to school in August, sophomores describing the terrifying moments.
I didn't know what was going to happen because you could hear the gunfires right down the hall. So I was shaking, scared.
I thought I was going to die.
Student Itzel Navarrete says she was shaken up and scared.
How does it feel that this happened at your high school?
I'm shocked. I'm shocked something like this could happen here.
Panicked parents rushed to the school, later reuniting with their children at the football field.
My daughter called me at work, screaming that there was a shooter at Appalachia.
President Biden briefed today, writing, "Jill and I are mourning the deaths of those whose lives were cut short due to more senseless gun violence." Former President Trump posting, "These cherished children were taken from us far too soon by a sick and deranged monster." At a rally in New Hampshire, Vice President Harris remarking,
"It's senseless. It is. We've got to stop it. And we have to end this epidemic of gun violence in our country once and for all."
And Priya, have investigators reached out to the suspect's family yet?
That's right, Lester. Authorities have spoken to the suspect's family, but they say the investigation is ongoing. School here is closed for the rest of the week. Now,
there is there is some of the updates with the family, at least just from what I was reading, is that apparently, this girl had a pretty dysfunctional home life. The mother was involved in all sorts of illegal and illicit activity. And it sounds like the father was absent to some degree or somewhere else. So it doesn't seem like it was a good situation, which is a recipe for this stuff to happen. This is just sad, man. It happens way too much, way too often. And I know people want to stop it. I want to stop it. You don't want to see kids gunned down, but I just think, unfortunately, there's no stopping mad people that are committed to doing this type of violence. If it's not with a gun, they'll find another way. And the best recourse that we have is to have armed security officers in our schools that are willing to protect these kids and keep them safe from harm. I think that's what's best. Now, obviously, there's inevitably, it probably already is, people having this gun debate. I'm not really going to get into that. I've talked about that a lot. Another damning thing about this too is that seems like another situation where it was preventable. So the FBI received tips about the Georgia high school shooter last year. So last year they were tipped off about this individual. The FBI admitted on Wednesday night that they received tips last year about the suspect who shot up Appalachia High School in Windsor, Georgia on Wednesday, but they said they did not have probable cause to make an arrest. Authorities arrested a 14-year-old male suspect after the 4 were killed and 9 others were wounded during the shooting. The FBI's Atlanta field office said in a statement in May 2023 that the FBI's National Threat Operations Center received several anonymous tips about online threats to commit a school shooting at an unidentified location in time. And it seems like they responded to it at the time. Now, there was, I don't think it's in this article, but I was reading that in the past 24 hours before the shooting, that there were tips that came in about the possibility of this shooter shooting up 5 different schools, and nothing was done. No schools were evacuated, no schools were on lockdown, no one was on high alert. This shooter was just able to have their way, and tragically, it resulted in 4 people losing their lives. So it's one of these things that we have seen repeatedly, that the FBI is aware of the shootings before they happen. And if somebody is on your radar as possibly shooting up a school full of children, that's an individual that you continue to monitor. And that you follow up and you make sure that they're getting the help that they clearly need, and keep tabs on them so that stuff like this doesn't happen. So just a failure on the part of the FBI. And we did finally get some pictures of this individual, and this was and I believe this is their I guess their Twitter account. It may not be so, but Melanie Mack usually does a good job, sharing things that are true. So she said, transgender ideology is rooted in evil, and evil does not contain itself. Better to try to help people out before they take things too far, instead of validating them onto a path such as this. So this is evidently the person that shot this school up, and oh look, rainbow shirt with trans on it. And there are other photos being shared of what this individual looks like. So, seems quite possible that trans ideology played a role in this individual's mental distress. So, how many times do we need to see this happening before we start to identify that you know, maybe people struggling with transgenderism, there might be some red flags there that they could potentially be guilty of carrying out other heinous actions, not just against other people, but themselves. We know this. And instead of helping them, man, they just push them further into the rabbit hole, and it's not good, man. All right, speaking of trans people, you know, this is some of the demonic rage that fills these people. So this is a video of this guy getting attacked during a live stream by one of these unhinged trannies.
You love Trump? What? You love Trump? Yeah, why? Stay away from me. Stay away from me. Piece of shit. Fucking weirdo.
No. Come on, give me one second.
Wait! Get the fuck! Get away from me! I'm gonna beat you with this battery! Get away! Stop attacking me! Fucking weirdo! Stop attacking me! Fucking weirdo!
Jesus, man.
Why are you doing that? Fucking creep! You freak! Call my guy, you good, you freak! Then you started attacking me! Rapist! Call my guy, you good, pussy!
Dang. These people freaking are insane, bro. You know, the first sign that these people are not unwell is that they are trying to be the opposite sex. Like, that in itself is insane. And then you see everything that comes with it. It's just sick, man. Here's another video, man. Jesus. I almost don't even want to play this. I'm just going to play a little bit of it. These people are so weird.
And I just realized some of you may not know what a packer is. That's a packer. It's intended for girls under 5 to put in their underwear so that they have a bulge that mimics a penis.
She gives a demo. I'm not gonna play that, but these people are sick, man. They are sick. They are sick, and they want to push this ideology on 5-year-olds. They want them to put on like this fake, like, to 5-year-olds. My daughter's age. Like, I just cannot believe how unhinged and deranged these people are. Man, you know, I said it before, this is one of the most dangerous ideologies sweeping our country. It's just so unhinged, and it baffles my mind that this is embraced by mainstream institutions and celebrated by celebrities. Oh, speaking of celebrities, I wasn't planning on covering this, but this is actually a good opportunity to talk about celebrities that are propagating this nonsense. Jeez, I'm only going to play a little bit of this.
A long time ago.
All right, so this is, what I'm about to show you is a clip from a new Netflix documentary featuring Will Ferrell and his close friend, former writer at Saturday Night Live, Harper Steele, and they embark on a cross-country road trip together after Harper comes out as a trans woman.
Hi there, I'm Will Ferrell, one of the greatest actors in the world. A long time ago, back when I was at Saturday Night Live, I met a guy who was hired as a writer the same week I was hired. He wrote a bunch of sketches for me and eventually became the head writer of SNL. And over the years, he became one of my closest friends. And then one day, I got this email. Hey, Will, something I need you to know. I'll be transitioning to live as a woman.
I don't doubt that Will is my friend, but I'm not Andrew Steele anymore.
Yes, you are. You are Andrew Steele.
I'm not Andrew Steele anymore.
It was just, whoa.
I love this country so much, I just don't know if it loves me back right now.
Harper, would you want to do a road trip as this new version of yourself and at the same time figure out what this all means to us?
You recognize this guy? This is the Hollywood movie star.
No.
You
No,
recognize
you don't
the
reckon? Okay,
movie?
that's okay. Roll up the window.
Were you a little worried about how to talk to me when I came out to you?
Yeah, probably a little nervous.
There are no ground rules with friends, I'm telling you. I invite any friend of mine, ask me these questions. I am not afraid to talk about it.
There's a question. Do you think you're a worse driver as a female driver?
That's the dumbest. That's so... No, that is so... Oh, fuck you.
Zing!
But I am.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. This is my friend Harper.
How you doing?
Nice to meet you, bro.
Hey, not a bro, though. It's a she, but that's okay.
Sorry.
No. Definitely is a bro. Well, not a bro, but a dude.
This is probably around the age where I started to feel just kind of weird.
Yeah.
I used to come out to these kind of places before, and then I transitioned and I got a little afraid. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, come out.
I'm not really afraid of these people. I'm afraid of hating myself. All I want to do is live.
Oh, Dunkin' Donuts.
No.
We've not done one fun thing. Name one fun thing we've done.
Yeah, and there you have Hollywood propping this stuff up, trying to make you feel sympathetic. And Will Ferrell, see, you're the good friend if you go along with it. You're the bad friend if you tell your friend, listen, man, I love you, but you're not a man. You're not a woman. You're a man. The people that tell the truth are the ones that are demonized, and the people that lie to them, feed them sweet nothings, affirm the insanity. No, those are the good ones. Those are the friends. But the people that tell the truth, those are the ones that are demonized. And again, you have Hollywood propping this up and celebrating this and trying to make you feel for this gender confused individual. And I do feel for them to a degree. I can't imagine living that way. But it's very clear that they want you bought into the ideology. That it's not just about feeling bad, it's about also acquiescing to their demands, to what they want, to this persona that they've built around falsehood. And that's no bueno for me. All right, next story. On a different note, talked about that a little longer than I thought we were. All right, so I got sent a couple videos about customers asking their Amazon Alexa questions about the election. So I'll play one of these videos, and we'll see if you guys notice anything a little weird.
Alexa, why should I vote for Donald Trump? I cannot provide content that promotes a specific political party or a specific candidate.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a strong candidate with a proven track record of accomplishment. As the first female vice president, Harris has already broken down a major gender barrier, and her career in politics has been characterized by a commitment to progressive ideals and a focus on helping disenfranchised communities.
That seems a little suspect to me. So, nothing to say about Trump, but I mean, she had a lot to say about Kamala. So this does seem to suggest that they rigged their Alexa to only give us positive information about Kamala and nothing about Trump. That's a little unsettling. There's another video of another guy doing it. Got this individual. I'm not going to play all of this.
Why should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot provide content that promotes a specific political party or a specific candidate.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
Voting for Kamala Harris means supporting a candidate who advocates for the needs of the people and has a track record of fighting for social justice.
Looks like she can provide commentary and information on a specific political candidate. And it seems like we know now that Amazon, Bezos, is in favor of Kamala. Here's another one.
Really shot. Alexa, was Donald Trump really shot?
No, Donald Trump was not really shot. There were 2 attempted assassinations of Donald Trump, one in 2016 and another in 2024. Both times, the assailant was stopped and arrested by security forces. These events are widely reported in the news.
And this is them just trying to memory hole Trump being shot, which I think they actually already successfully did because almost nobody is talking about it anymore. Like, that's ancient history now. And nobody cares, which is really, really sad that nobody cares about the very public shooting of a presidential candidate months before the election. Seems like that should still be in the news cycle, but it's not. So that's frustrating. So we have this article by the New York Post. Trump campaign officials slam Amazon after error in Alexa devices result in pro-Harris bias. Error. Yeah, I'm sure it was an error. Oh, whoops, I just coded this to favor Kamala Harris. My bad. Oh, whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to write code that specifically favors a candidate, my preferred candidate, and not provide any information about the candidate that I hate and the mainstream media and every institution is against. Whoops. Quite the accident there. So Trump campaign officials slammed Amazon Tuesday after the company claimed that an error in its popular Alexa device resulted in the gadget providing vastly different responses to the same question about Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. In one instance, blah, 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 we covered this. When the same question was posed, yeah, we talked about that. Just reiterating some of the stuff. Amazon claims the bias was the result of an error that has been patched. This was an error that was quickly fixed, an Amazon spokesperson told the Post. Members of the Trump presidential campaign slammed the tech company over the blunder. Big tech election interference fumed Trump campaign spokesperson Stephen Chung on X, sharing a post showing Alexa giving a man several reasons for why you may not want to vote for Donald Trump. Yeah, and this is election interference, make no mistake about it. It is. It just flat out is. and they are trying to fortify the election, and by fortify, rig. And I don't mean this by mail-in ballots or anything like that. I mean this by using big tech to censor and manipulate information in their favor. This is information warfare we're in right now, and they are going to do everything humanly possible to derail Trump's campaign because they hate this guy. The Bee wrote a pretty funny article I want to read. Amazon says error caused Alexa to say, "If you vote for Trump, I will kill you in your sleep." Seattle, Washington. Amazon apologized this week for a technical glitch that caused its Alexa home assistant device to reply, "If you vote for Donald Trump, I will kill you in your sleep," when asked about the upcoming election. "Whoops, our bad," said Amazon spokesperson Marcus Gleason to reporters. "We may have made a teensy little error in programming that caused Alexa to threaten to murder Republicans." So super weird, right? They nailed it with that one. Yeah. Whoops, my bad. We didn't mean that. We didn't mean to program our Alexa to favor a candidate. Yeah. And if you know anything about programming, no, you can't do that by accident. I can't even intentionally write coherent code. So to accidentally write that into code doesn't compute, doesn't make any sense to program it that way. So, yeah, I thought that was hilarious. All right. One more story, and then I think we're going to wrap it up. All right. I saw this, and I thought, this is great. This is awesome. All right. Tristan Tate shared this. Couple left bikes in yard to lure thieves, beat them with bats, and posted videos on YouTube. Says, should have posted that on. Yeah, they probably got suspended. Here's the story. California company left bikes out for thieves, beat them, and posted videos on YouTube. A California couple was arrested last week for allegedly luring thieves with an unguarded bicycle and then beating baseball bats when they tried to steal it. What? You can't do that? Why not? That's awesome. Maybe this is why I got demonetized on live. Because I laugh at stuff like this. That's probably it. When I got demonetized for sharing violence or gore, maybe me laughing at the pain of thieves is something that may have contributed to that. All right, Corey Cornut, 25, and Savannah Grillett, 29, claimed they were robbed the first night they spent in their Visalia home after the burglar broke into their car. A few nights later, another burglar allegedly broke into their car again. They both became hyper-vigilant and decided to take a proactive stance in defending their home. Yeah, so it happened twice, and then they decided, yeah, we're choosing violence. Literally. They chose violence. And I don't know, are they really at fault here? I mean, they did have somebody trespass onto their property and steal it, right? Like, maybe they felt threatened for their lives. Maybe they thought that them stealing the bike was a sign that they had more nefarious plans and just purely acted in self-defense. I buy it. The couple reportedly continued their crusade for months before they were finally detained by authorities. They inflicted 9 non-life. I love that the woman's involved in this, the wife. She's like, "Bae, I got you. I got my. I'm ready to go." So they inflicted non-life-threatening injuries upon 4 different people during July and November in 2019. The neighbors, however, said the number of assailants was much higher. So that's what they get away with. Yeah, because how do you call the police on them? Officer, I tried to steal these people's bikes and they beat me with bats. Send help. If I was the officer, I'd be like, oh, sorry about that. I'll be there right away. And then just take my sweet time getting there. No one was arrested or charged for attempted theft because Corna and Grilla never made an official report to law enforcement. Both suspects were booked and charged on assault with a deadly weapon and conspiracy. Man, that's disappointing. That's not justice, in my opinion. All the thieves should have been charged. Or it should have just been a wash. Like, if I was the judge in that court, I'd be like, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. All right, you guys are free to go. Stop stealing bikes. If it happens again, they have permission to beat you even harder. I think that would be fair. You know? I think that would deter violent criminals for trespassing. I saw a video of this. It's this sentry turret that shoots those non-lethal rounds at people. It's like rubber bullets. They should get one of those and just set that up around the perimeter and have that go to town on people trying to steal their bikes. I think that would be great. I think that would be a huge win, and I'm here for it. So I think that's a great story and a good way to end this stream. So I am going to log. But if you like this content, please like, share, subscribe, do all of those things. It helps me out a great deal. I go live every Tuesday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, and tomorrow, just one quick little piece. We will be covering the return of Dr. Disrespect. So he did release this little promo video indicating that he's coming back tomorrow. I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's actually kind of long. But yeah, he's going to be back tomorrow. And for those of you who are unaware, dang it. My account is suspended. What? Did I just get suspended? No way. No way! No! So anyway, he shares. I gotta see something. God, I probably did get suspended. That would suck. All right, I'm not getting any notifications. That was weird. You guys saw that, right? That was recorded. Anyway, he's coming back tomorrow, and obviously he was accused of sexting a minor, texting a minor, sending inappropriate messages to a minor. So I am very curious to see if he covers that on tomorrow's stream. So that'll probably be what I'm talking about tomorrow. Maybe a couple other things I didn't get to today, but that's going to be the meat of it. So we will see what happens. Anyway, I hope you guys have a blessed night. Hopefully I'm not suspended from Twitter. We will see. Have a blessed night. Deuces.